what makes Formula 3.5 a hero product?
Yeah, so we brought 3.5 into our hero product list because it's such a comprehensive detox blend for estrogen clearance. And with 3.5, when we think about estrogen detox, we have to remember there's the three phases of estrogen clearance. So we have phase one, which I always think of as sweeping estrogen into three little piles. Phase two is taking those piles, putting them into garbage bags. And phase three is taking those garbage bags and taking them to the dump. Quite literally. Uh, so that's our stool. That's like clearance out through both urine and stool. When you're looking at how to best support a patient who struggles with high estrogen symptoms, and this is usually going to be our cycling females who have a lot of bloat, a lot of painful and heavy menstrual cramping, fibrocystic or just painful swollen breasts, especially during that luteal phase of the cycle, but it can happen at any phase. Some women with really high estrogens will feel more pronounced estrogen excess at ovulation as well, because that's when estrogen naturally does surge in order to get the rupture of a follicle and the release of an egg. So if we don't know how to really target that estrogen excess, but we know that our patients are struggling with estrogen excess symptoms, they have high estrogen, maybe on a serum test, and you really want to help with that mobilization and clearance of estrogen, this can be a really profound blend because you are getting the support of that clearance through phase one into the right garbage piles, right? Through into the right garbage bags and then out into literally the dump. And we do that by really providing you with those critical B vitamins, both for phase one and phase two detox. We are supporting both methylation and sulfation, which are really important critical steps, those garbage bags, right? That's phase two detox. Calcium D-glucarate we add in here as well. And we're doing that for that stabilization of the estrobolome to ensure that when those garbage bags do make it to the dump, that they don't get ripped back open and allowing that estrogen back into circulation, which can happen if you have high estrobolome activity and elevated beta-glucuronidase. So calcium D-glucarate neutralizes beta-glucuronidase. I like to call the beta-glucuronidase the rats, right? They're eating through those garbage bags. Well, let's get rid of the rat infestation first. We do that with the calcium D-glucarate. Let's improve the garbage bag production. We do that with the improvement of phase two with things like N-acetylcysteine, supporting glutathione, supporting sulfation, taurine, biliary support, that's biliary conjugation, methionine, supporting the methyl cycle. Have our broccoli seed extract also represented here, which is patented TrueBroc, and this is glucoraphanin that is stabilized in order to maximize sulforaphane production at the cellular level, which improves both phase two detox, but also is really important as an antioxidant. It's supporting the upregulation of NRF2, which is then increasing cellular synthesis of catalase, glutathione, and SOD, which are our master antioxidant free radical stabilizers. The other thing I want to point out is we do have bioresponse DIM. Diindole methane is a really important nutrient to improve phase one detox of estrogen, and it is profound. It helps upregulate CYP1A1 expression, which is the 2-hydroxy pathway, which is the preferred stable pathway of estrogen metabolism. You have to be really careful with DIM because not all diindole methane is created equal. DIM it's an antioxidant and it denatures really quickly. It oxidizes, making it less impactful as a nutrient. And this can be both oxidized in the capsule while it's sitting on the shelf, as well as oxidized when it hits your stomach acid and not actually making it into your liver to support estrogen clearance. We use bioresponse DIM. It's the only DIM that has been research studied to show support and heat stabilization. So it doesn't denature as quickly. It does make it's phospholipid bound, which means it's going to be able to absorb into our cells. It's going to be able to circulate to the tissues that need it, and it's going to have more of a profound and stable impact on our estrogen clearance. So not only is it heat stable in the bottle, but it's also more stable and better utilized in our body. So really important that you look at the form of DIM that you're giving. And that's what we really prize and honor ourselves on, is we're going to give you those well-researched, patented products when we can, if there is that research behind it backing why it's so important and beneficial within like why it would be so important as a nutrient in our products. But yeah, this is, again, it's a well-rounded detox blend. It's really going to be for those estrogen dominant cases. Not everyone needs all three phases of estrogen clearance. And the reason we call this 3.5 is that it's supporting all three phases of estrogen detox plus some, right? Plus those good antioxidants. But really, we do have other blends that can be targeted to specific metabolic needs. And that's where testing becomes really important. But if you don't have a test and you do have estrogen excess, this is a great catch-all, and it can be dosed per your patients. So if you have really estrogen dominant patients, dose this at the full 2 caps twice a day dosing all cycle long. It's a really great blend. But if you have patients that just struggle mid-cycle, maybe you don't want to clear out their estrogen all cycle long. They need that estrogen for follicular development. They need that estrogen for ovulation support. Giving too many detox nutrients all cycle long can actually disrupt and prolong menstrual periods. So sometimes women just need it in the second half of their cycle. I tend to just give it the last week of the menstrual cycle before their period and then the week of their menstrual period to really ensure that we're clearing out the estrogen when we don't need it any longer. And that can be really helpful as well. Our products are all blended to be optimal therapeutic potency. You don't have to dose it per the bottle recommendation though. Dose it for your patient. If a patient only needs 2 caps once a day, or they only need 2 caps twice a day for 2 weeks out of the month, dose it in that way. You can get creative and you can support your patients. Hormones are very dynamic. They're fluctuating all day long, not to mention all cycle long. So you don't have to give the same dose all the time. You can play around with the dosing and find what works best for your patient. But if they need estrogen clearance, this is a profound product for them.